Claude Opus 4.5 just dropped and it destroys human engineers. Claude 4.5 Opus just dropped and it literally beat every human engineer ever. I'll come on to that in a second on their hardest coding test. And here's what insane. You can now have infinite chats with Claude in Excel and Chrome, no more context limit errors. You can code faster than ChatGPT 5 and it costs 67% less. So I'm going to be showing you exactly how to use Claude 4.5 Opus. And basically, if you haven't seen this already, today I woke up, right, and saw Claude Opus 4.5 had dropped, opened it up and gave it the same coding task. My team usually takes like 3 days to build last month, a custom AI tool for one of my businesses. Opus 4.5 built it in 47 minutes, not kind of built it, fully built it, working, ready to use. And I sat there staring at my screen thinking about all the times I waited for developers, right? All the times I've waited days for developers. And obviously they cost time, they cost energy, you got to manage them, etc. Whereas with this new update, it basically understands what you want without explaining every tiny detail. It fixes its own bugs. It builds complete apps whilst you eat lunch, right? And, you know, I've spent the last few hours just testing this thing on basically everything, building tools for my SEO business, creating automations for the AI profit boarding, making scripts that used to take me hours. And I kept thinking about everyone who tells me they can't use AI because they don't know how to code, or they're scared to try new tools, or they think AI is too hard. This changes everything for those people because Opus 4.5 doesn't need you to be technical. You just tell it what you want in normal words, it builds it, you use it, that's it. All right, so I'm doing this live stream because this tool just came out and most people don't know it exists yet. The people who learn this first will have a huge advantage. There'll be things the competitors can't. They'll automate tasks everyone does by hand. They'll save weeks of time. And I went through every possible way this could help solo business owners. I've tested it on real tasks. I broke it, I pushed it, I found out what works, and now I'm going to show you exactly what to do with it. The framework I created, the simple steps to turn this into something useful for your business, not theory, real actions you can take today. This is a tool that finally makes AI simple enough for anyone to use, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. Let's get straight into this. So I want to show you the Opus automation blueprint. We'll come on to that in a second. If you haven't checked this already, here are the benchmarks and here's exactly how it works. All right. So you can see here, Claude Opus literally just came out November 2025. So a few hours ago, brand new off the press, my friends. And by the way, if you haven't already joined the AI Profit Boardroom yet, make sure you join because we've already released a video tutorial on it, as you can see right here, along with loads of different training on how to use it, a 30-day plan, etc. So make sure you get that. I think we're the only community in the world that actually updates every single day within hours as soon as something comes out. Okay. Mountain says, good day. I sent you an email today. Hope you got it. Cinematic storyboards. And 1960. By the way, I don't check my emails. The only place I actually connect with people is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So if you email me, you go through to my team. Just letting you know. So the best place to connect with me is inside the AI Profit Boardroom if you want to get noticed and found when you want me to respond to your messages. 1963 says, I've been using it to code for the last couple of hours. It is amazing. Boom shakalaka. Let's get into this. So Claude Opus have said our newest model, Claude Opus 4.5, is available today. It's intelligent, efficient, and the best model in the world for coding, agents, and computer use. Now, bear in mind, Google Gemini just released their new coding agent, but this is a brand new update from Claude, which I think is kind of in response to that, right? Let's call a spade a spade. It's also meaningfully better everyday tasks like deep research and working with slides and spreadsheets. Opus 4.5 is a step forward in what AI systems can do and a preview of larger changes to how work gets done. And I can't wait to show this to you. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm going to show you exactly how to use it in a minute. But we're going to run through exactly why it's so important so that you understand truly, okay, what is the power of this? How does this work? Why is it so important? All right. And if you have any things that you want me to test whilst we're waiting, just let me know in the comments so that I can test it for you, okay? Mountain says, check it out. Yep, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. DM me in there and I can help you. And yeah, we're going to keep going through this. So Claude Opus is state-of-the-art on tests of real-world software engineering. So you can see the SWE bench, which is software engineering tests. And you can see the different models here, right? So you got Opus, Sonnet, Opus 4.1. Basically, the main thing to note here is that Opus 4.5 is destroying everyone else, right? It's at 80.9%, whereas everything else is like 70% and pretty average, okay? And then Opus 4.5 is available today on our apps, API, and all three major cloud platforms. If you're a developer, use Claude Opus via the Claude API. Pricing is now $5 per million tokens. making Opus level capabilities accessible to even more users, teams, and enterprises. And you can see here they've uploaded a bunch of stuff. Now, the main thing here is like there are new tools for longer running agents and new ways to use Claude in Excel, Chrome, and on our desktop. In the Claude apps, lengthy conversations no longer hit a wall. Important, very important to note there, right? So what this means is basically there's less problems with using the context, right? Everyone complains about the context window inside Claude and hitting limits and how you can't keep going farther, etc. No need to worry about that anymore, sunshine. All right, you've got that sorted with Claude Opus. Norman Robinson, shout out to you, my friend, says, greetings from the Bermuda Islands. Good to see you. I'll be having a great time in the islands. And let's have a look at the first impressions. See what we got here. So we got some like testimonials from Windsurf, GitHub, the usual characters. Who else we got on here? We got, yeah, some other people on there too, right? So you can see all these different people saying good things about it. I think one of the biggest things here is cursor. I've seen this trending on X actually. Cursor inside cursor with Claude 4.5 Opus, right? So if you haven't seen this already, it's trending on X right now. It's absolutely popping off on that. You can see the details, what people are saying about it. Cursor is saying it's now available inside there, and Anthropic researcher believes maybe as soon as the first half of next year, software engineering is done. It's so over, right? So Adam Wolf says, I believe this new model in Claude Code is a glimpse of the future we're hurtling towards. Maybe as soon as the first half of next year, software engineering is done. Done, my friends. How terrifying is that? Absolutely insane stat. Another YouTuber, Matthew Berman, says Opus 4.5 outperformed every single human candidate ever in Anthropic's notoriously difficult take-home exam for prospective performance entering candidates, right? Engineering candidates, sorry. So basically what we're saying here is like it's beating humans, it's scoring better than ever compared to other human candidates, right? So you can see some examples here. This is the take-home test, all right? And this is really interesting as well. So an AI model outperforms strong candidates on important technical skills, raising questions about how AI will change engineering as a profession. You can see how it's performing here. So on agentic coding, on agentic terminal coding, agentic tool use, etc., Opus 4.5 is absolutely destroying everyone. Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting. I mean, it's scary, but it's exciting as well. I mean, the fact that software engineers who usually say, you know, AI is nowhere near as good as a software engineer are now saying it's better than a human is pretty wild, right? You can also see here it's like solving a puzzle game. So let's mute this. We'll play this on. So basically, you can load these different tools. It's got a big context window, and then you can see here it's like solving puzzles. Right? So you see Sonic 4.5 versus Opus 4.5, and Sonic's a lot faster, and it's a lot better, right? You've also got like planning updates inside there as well. And that's pretty much it. But the main thing to note here is that with Claude Opus 4.5, within the prescribed 2-hour time limit, Opus 4.5 scored higher than any human candidate ever. Pretty wild, right? Now, if you want to get access to this, start using it, you can just go over to Claude. This is the easiest, simplest way to start using it. So you can switch on the drop down to Opus 4.5, and you can see Opus consumes usage limits faster than other models. You can also get access to this inside OpenRouter as well. So if we go over to OpenRouter, we can start using it here. So for example, we've got the models on this side. So if we have a look down here, we've got Opus 4.5 on the list. It's got a 200,000 context window, so it's still pretty small, but apparently they've solved the issues with running out of space on long conversations. And you can see the details here, so you can see the pricing of how much it costs. You've also got web search enabled inside Opus 4.5's API as well. And then you can see how it performs, right, and where it's available, right? So you can start using this inside Kilo code, Klein, root code, pretty much all the major apps it's available in right now. And you can see, okay, here's how it's performing, etc. You could also just go directly inside the chat if you wanted to, or you can compare it to other models, right? So we can select another model over here. We could use, for example, like Gemini 3.0 Pro preview over here, and then we can compare them. Now, the main thing to note here, and this is, I'm not saying that Claude is the best thing ever since sliced bread, because as you can see right here, we've got Gemini 3 Pro, and you can see that that has a 1 million context length, right? So that has a much bigger context window. And also, if you compare the price per tokens on the input, right, Claude Opus 4.5 is $5 per million tokens, whereas Gemini 3 Pro Preview is 2 million tokens, right? So it's a lot cheaper to use Gemini for coding. And also, you can see here that input modalities on Gemini Pro Preview includes audio and video, which Claude Opus 4.5 doesn't have. So it's not like this is perfect, and you can see the max output tokens as well is twice the size on Google Gemini. So, it's interesting to see this. We can run some tests and see how they perform side by side. So Norman says, with the announced developments throughout last week, what's your take on OpenAI effectively answering the new options such as Opus, etc.? I think ChatGPT is falling behind by miles, right? I don't think it's anywhere near catching up with Claude or Gemini. I honestly think that Google has blown every single competitor out the window when it comes to image, video, etc. I think ChatGPT, they were in the race, but I wouldn't even consider them like top two anymore. I would say they're way behind Claude, way behind Gemini. And to be honest, that gap, as we've already seen, is just getting wider and wider, if that makes sense. So like every update that Google releases, every update that Claude releases, the gap gets wider and it's harder and harder to compete. So this is one of the biggest issues you're finding right now. If you're using OpenAI, it's probably like the outputs are not as good. You don't get as good outputs on video and image as Google. And it's like, why would you still use ChatGPT? The only reason that I think you should use ChatGPT is really if you are using it for day-to-day personal tasks, and it has a lot of understanding about you, who you are, what you do, etc. But one thing that I've gradually been doing, because I want to get better outputs, is just switching all my previous custom GPTs, giving the instructions over to Claude, and then Claude starts using those instead. And the reason for that is because you just get much better outputs with Claude. It's more sentient, it's more human, it feels better, it looks better, etc. Right? In fact, all of the notes from today, I use Claude now to help me generate those. And if we went back 6 months ago, I would have been using ChatGPT. So that's the difference. I think OpenAI is really struggling. And I think OpenAI is just like, it's easy for the, for the layman, for the common person out there. But, if you're really into AI, if you're like top 1% of the AI community, if you're watching this channel, for example, then you're going to be using Claude or you're going to be using Gemini, right? There's no way you're going to be using ChatGPT or OpenAI for coding, to be honest. So this is basically how it works. And if you want to start using this, let me show you exactly how it works. Okay. So I'm going to just do this in a second. So we're going to go over to Claude right now, and then you can see we can start using Opus 4.5, and then like, whatever you wanted to talk about, you can, right? So if we just said like, okay, create a AI news tool where I can get the latest headlines from today based on a quick web search, design in artifacts, right? For example, and then we just hit enter like this. This is now going to start generating that tool that we have in mind. Now, if we do the same thing inside, for example, OpenAI, and we'll do the same thing inside Gemini, let's see which one performs the best and which one gives us the best outputs, right? That would be pretty interesting. By the way, some people are going to be asking about Grok 4.1 as well. And the problem with Grok is like, I don't even see it in the race, right? It just doesn't seem anywhere near as good as Gemini and Claude again. So, if I had to basically switch between these, I would say that Claude and Gemini are kind of like neck and neck when it comes to coding. ChatGPT and Grok, nowhere near the same. And if you saw my video the other week about Grok 4.1, as soon as it came out, then you agree with me, to be honest, when we compared the output side by side. So Gemini is working its magic now. We've got ChatGPT working over here, and we've got Claude Opus over here. Now, one thing you're going to see is that Claude has already finished coding the tool before anything else, right? So look at this. We've got Claude over here. It's already created the news. We can click fetch news headlines using Opus 4.5, and this should do the research for us, right? Now, if we have any errors like this, that's no problem. So what we can do is we can copy here. We'll copy that image. We'll go back inside the chat. We'll paste that screenshot in, and we're going to say, okay, fix this error, right? And then in the meantime, let's have a look. So we've got ChatGPT still coding out, and then we have Gemini 3 publishing it right now. Now, let's have a look here. So we've got all the news headlines from this. I'm actually going to say, okay, tailor this tool to the AI news, like so. And then we're going to go back to ChatGPT and look at what ChatGPT 5.1 does. What am I supposed to do with this, right? Like, it's just, what are we doing here? You know, now if we go back over to Claude, we've got the new tool here. It should be recoding this whole tool, as you can see. So it's starting to do its magic over here. But yeah, you can see the outputs here and the difference and everything else, right? Now, whilst we're waiting for that to code, I just want to run through some limiting beliefs that I think some people have, right? So, you know, some people are going to say, I'm not technical enough to use advanced AI tools. And the thing is, right, Opus 4.5, it talks like a human. You just describe what you want in plain English, it builds it. You know, you've probably tested tools before that needed complex prompts or special knowledge. This one doesn't. You tell it, make me a tool that takes my blog posts and turns them into tweets, and it builds that tool. And the technical part basically happens automatically. You just use normal words to describe what you need, right? So you can see how we've done that right here. Let's click on Fetch News Headlines, and then boom, look at that, right? Now, again, I'm going to say tailor this to the AI industry / AI news only, but you can see how easy it is to create your own tool in minutes using this SaaS, right? And then if we have a look at Gemini, so we've got Gemini still coding out right now. And if we have a look at ChatGPT 5.1, I mean, what even is this, right? What even is this, my friends? It's just giving us HTML. Let's preview this just for the lols, but you get the idea, right? Like ChatGPT 5.1, like I was saying before, and I predicted already, it's not even in the race, mate. It's not even in the race, right? Let's have a look on liveweave.com. We'll see what we're getting and what we're doing, etc. Right? So I'm going to paste in that HTML, and then we've got the ideas. I'm going to put, okay, AI news. I mean, to be fair, that looks pretty nice, right? That looks pretty nice. But the problem is, it doesn't make any sense, right? And what I mean by this is, let me pull this up to show you the nonsense that we've got here, right? So it says one-click summary of today's news for any topic. We put in AI news, top stories, etc. The UI is super nice, to be fair to OpenAI. But let's have a look. So it says AI agent scans today's web to surface top AI news stories in minutes. That is not a news headline. That's just what I asked OpenAI to do, right? That's what I asked ChatGPT to do. And if we click on the source, it just takes us to Google News, mate. What are we supposed to do with that, right? So you get the point. Like the tools that you build from ChatGPT 5.1 just aren't at the same quality, right? Yeah. And it's a shame. I don't like to see that, right? I want to see ChatGPT building amazing stuff. I want to see like some of the best stuff that we can get. But you know, it's just not as good. It's nowhere near the same at the same level, right? So let's go back to Claude now. We're coding this out. I'm going to just close Liveweave in the background, and then we're going to start going through this. Now, some other people are going to say, I don't have time to learn another AI tool, but you already know how to talk, right? That's all you need. There's no special syntax to memorize. There's no training courses required, no complicated setup. You open it up, describe what you want, and use what it builds. I mean, I built 3 complete AI automation tools yesterday whilst running my regular business, right? And each one took like less than an hour. And that was with the old version of Claude, right? Today, the new version of Claude is out, and that's going to be even better, isn't it? So the learning curve is just describing your problem clearly. That's all it is. It's clarity of thought, which you should all be building, you know, if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, right? So Hazina, I'm glad someone picked that up, right? So Hazina was joking, what is this? I mean, what is it? What are we talking about here? Why is it building us a tool that's telling us what we're trying to do, right? Why have we built a tool that says the top news headline today is Julian looking for the top news headlines, right? That's what I'm talking about when it comes to ChatGPT 5.1. It's just, they need to sort it out. They need to sort it out. Same for like images. If I generate an image with Nano Banana, right, the new Nano Banana Pro, It's giving me a 4K image exactly how I want it in the space of like 2 minutes, right? Whereas, for example, if I ask ChatGPT 5.1 to generate an image for me, I might have to go make a coffee, do a little run around the park, right? Learn how to shadow box on YouTube, and then I'll come back and finally, I've got my image that isn't even the idea that I had, right, with ChatGPT 5.1. So that's the difference right there. And then we've got Mountain, who says, yes, it's hanging behind. 100% it's hanging behind. I'm glad you all agree with me in that we're not on different wavelengths here. So now we have the options from here, but again, like, it's still not perfect, right? So for example, it says Open AI announces GPT release date for early 2026. This is still behind. So I'm going to go over to Claude Opus and say, okay, only state the facts plus tell the truth, right? Run a web search each time you do this, so you get the latest news headlines. Make sure, we're going to say use the AI to do the web search. And then also make sure you only include the news headlines from today, because most of these are super old. Now, I bet if I went over to Gemini 3, right, and we have a look what's going on here, I kind of feel like this will probably give me the best results out of all of them, right? So I'm going to go inside this tool. Let's see what we got here. I want to see when these headlines were done. Okay, yeah, this is great. Okay, so for example, if we have a look at the tool from Gemini, and I still think this might be superior. Amber says hello and gives a couple of emojis. Hello to you, Amber. Good to see you, Amber. Version 4.5 is very good. I would agree. If we have a look here, so this is one of the news headlines from Gemini's tool using exactly the same prompts. And it says Neuro AI breakthrough, zap and freeze, maps human synapses, right? And then if we go over to Google here and we see, okay, when were these headlines released? We can see that we've got the ideas and the headlines right here, right? So for example, zap and freeze, right? And this was like 10 hours ago, or November, right? So Gemini is still giving us the best results so far from what I've seen when it comes to all of the tools that were built. ChatGPT, I wouldn't even iterate on the first version because it was just way out. And then if we have a look over here, we've got some options right here. Now, actually, this is interesting. So the artifact, this is a big difference between Gemini and Claude. So, for example, here you can see that the artifact iframe environment cannot make external API calls. It can't do a web search. That's really interesting. Whereas, for example, if we use, let me show you the outputs here. So you can see here it says the artifact iframe environment cannot make external API calls, right? So we actually can't create a tool fetching the latest news headlines with Claude 4.5, which is definitely a limitation. So even though UI and the tool looks nice, it's not going to be that great for getting the latest stuff. But if we have a look at Gemini 3.0, that has given us better outputs, more recent outputs. It's searched the web using the API. And so like already Gemini 3 wins on that particular benchmark, right? And then ChatGPT was just like, it didn't even create anything useful, right? So these are the outputs so far. Now, also, some people say, okay, building custom tools is expensive and takes forever. You can get a developer and they might take like 3 days. Whereas, for example, as you've seen today, if we're using Gemini or we're using Claude 4.5, this stuff can build out in like 15 minutes, right? And the difference in cost is massive too. So, and the time difference, right? So this is faster than most humans. And also some people say, internally, I get stuck and I won't know how to fix problems. But Opus 4.5 explains what it's doing whilst it works. So if we go back over here inside the chat, you can see what it's doing whilst it's working. It gives you the steps, it breaks down what it's doing, etc. And then you can understand it whilst it works, so that you don't get stuck. So if something doesn't work right, you just tell it what's wrong in normal words and it understands to fix it. You don't need to know code to say this button should be blue instead of red, or make this run every morning at 8 a.m. It handles the technical part and you handle the business part. That's basically it, right? So you can see how easy and fast this is to do this sort of stuff. If we have a look as well. We'll go into, do you know what? I'm going to start a new chat here. I'm going to use Opus 4.5 to build from scratch. I'm going to say, okay, knowing what you know about me, give me some tools plus game ideas I could create with Opus 4.5 in the artifacts, right? And we'll see if we can get some ideas that are personalized for me, see how well it knows me, because I actually don't use Claude that much, although I've started to use it more and more. And then you can see here it's giving us some ideas on what we can build, right? So for example, content repurposing scheduler, input your 4-hour live stream topics and it generates a content calendar with suggested clips, quotes, and posts for Faz, who's a team member. So it does know me quite well and has a good memory to execute across platforms. Let's try and build that. All right. So I'm going to say, okay, build this in artifacts. Well, this one would be this would be even better, actually. I like that one. So constraint solver worksheet, interactive version of your systematic approach where you input a business problem and it walks through the constraint identification framework you use. All right, that sounds cool. And say, build this, right? And if you're not familiar with what I'm doing here, basically for my business, every time we plateau or every time we need to grow, I typically identify the one constraint that's holding us back from growing our business. Because, like, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs, they focus on loads of different solutions instead of focusing on the one thing that would change everything, because their system and their business is constrained by one particular problem and it only grows as big as that problem, right? So typically what I've found, if I want to grow my business, is just focusing on the right constraint and then attacking it to make sure that I, you know, fix that constraint with every solution that I find. Okay, so for example, when I wanted to keep growing the AI profit boardroom, what I would do is focus on, okay, well, how can I 10x the amount of people that I reach, right? So for example, year on year with YouTube, we've grown from like, I think it's like 400,000 views a month in November last year, all the way up to now what we're at. Yeah, so now we're at 2 million people per month in terms of views, right? How do we do it? We did it by this constraints method that I'm showing you right now, and I'm building out the artifact to do that. All right. In the meantime, what I'm also going to do is, if you want to just steal this tool from me, I'm going to copy that, right? So we're going to copy the link for this. This is the AI News Headline Finder. So, you know, if you want to create this, you can. I've copied that link. Then I'm going to go over to the notes inside the AI Profit Boardroom, right? So you just go to the AI Profit Boardroom over here, link in the comments description if you haven't got access already. And then you're going to scroll down and you're going to go to S&P updates. You can see all the updates just from November alone, right? Every single major update I cover, teach you, create a masterclass about, and then share new tools for. So inside here, we've got the useful links, and I will add the new tool that we've just created, the AI News tool, right? So if you want to steal that tool from me, boom shakalaka is right inside the S&P updates over here. Just scroll down and get it, right? How'd you get it? You go inside the AI Profit Boardroom and you get that right now. We have a good Black Friday deal on right now as well if you want to sign up, right? 1963 says, excellent video, gotta run. I'll check the rest out later. My session time limit just ended. Back to Claude Code Opus 4.5. Awesome, man. So now you can see we've got this tool. This is the constraint solver, right? To fix business bottlenecks. So, you know, you can put your metrics in here, your current, your target, what's the problem you're trying to solve, and then what's the ultimate goal, right? And then you can click continue and keep working through that tool. Pretty amazing stuff, right? Let's try and create another one of these, right? So for example, what else we got here? I think this would be a great one, the content repurposing scheduler. So I'm going to start a new chat over here. I'm going to say, okay, build this out in artifacts, right? The other thing that I would say here is, like, typically if I ask ChatGPT for the same suggestions, they won't be as good as these. These are like super smart suggestions, right? So it's now creating the content repurposing scheduler. Again, this is personalized to me. And if you want personal suggestions to you, you're going to use that prompt that I recommended before. If you can't find that prompt, or if you need it, what I'm going to do is go over to Claude over here, and I'm going to click on building tools, blah, blah, blah. Then we're going to copy this prompt. And if you want to steal that prompt from me, I'm going to put it inside here. All right, prompt for tools. So we're going to put it inside the AI Profit Boardroom, prompt for tools. There you go. All right. So if you want to get like customized, personalized suggestions to you, just plug this prompt right here, and then you'll have a practical way to build out tools, depending on whatever niche or industry or focus you have, right? Because AI and ChatGPT and everything else knows you better than you, typically, right? That's what I found. So we're going to wait for that to load now. Wait for that to code, as you can see. And then in a minute, what we can also do is we can switch over to Claude Code and test out as well in a second. All right. Also, if you want to get the business constraint solver, what I'll do is I'm going to publish the artifact here. We'll copy that link, and then we'll go over to the AI Profit Boardroom, and we'll put the business constraint tool over here. Right. And you just click on the link, and then you can get access to these. Right. Actually, put a list here. That's one of the things that we do inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Is like, you know, inside this community, not only do you get like the daily coaching, the courses, everything else, but you also get like new tools I add based on the latest AI updates, so that you never fall behind. Right. That's the whole point of this game. And by the way, if you're watching this, you got any comments, you got any questions, you want me to build something out for you, just let me know on the comments. You can see I'm replying and responding to every single comment here, and I'm just here to help you. That's all I want to do. All right. So we've got the content repurposing scheduler, transform 4 hours of live streams into a week of content. We can plug in the stream date. So let's click the date up here. And then what we can do is select the stream title. So I'm going to put, okay, Google anti-gravity like this. Then we can plug in the main topics. Then we can put in the key examples. So I'll put live demo of anti-gravity. Let's have a look what we got here. So put Google anti-gravity over here, actionable steps. And then we'll put, okay, Google gravity is absolutely insane. And then we'll see if this works, all right? Generate content calendar. And then it's given us like a kind of content scheduler, kind of like it's like a productivity tool, isn't it? And then you can export this. You can choose JSON or text format. Got a total piece of content, how many platforms, how many days of content. It's taken the quotes, everything else. We've got that all generated down here. We're going to click on export to FAS. If we have a problem like this, then we're going to click on that. We're going to copy this image back into the chat and then say, okay, fix this bad boy. When I click export, right? Now I think basically, if we go back here, let's go over here. Yeah, you can switch between list view, calendar, input, etc. as well. Pretty nice. So you see how easy this is to do, my friends. And that's one of the best ways to do this. Now, what we can also do is so much I want to show you here today, peeps. It's a big one. It's a big one. So I'm actually going to take the artifact once that's ready and share it with you. So what we can also do over here is we can go inside Open Router and we can compare these side by side. So we click on the chat, we've got Opus selected and we've got Gemini Pro Preview selected. Now we can compare which one creates the best act. Now, a really cool test that I like to test, this is something I actually learned from a legendary YouTube live person who shows up to YouTube lives. I think it's called Pair Ranks. Is a PS5 controller in HTML, right? This is a really good test to see what performs the best when it comes to creating and coding, right? So it's a good test. So if you want to test out a tool and see, okay, how good is it at coding, you can create a PS5 controller in HTML, and then you can compare two different models inside Open Router side by side, as you can see, and see, okay, which one performs the best, right? And Syed says, any suggestions for baby boomers on how to start? You might have to do it a bit slower. All right. So best place I'd recommend, right? Go inside the AI Profit Boardroom. It's available at aiprofitboardroom.com if you can't find the link in the comments description, right? You can scroll down here and then inside the classroom, inside the AI Profit Boardroom, go to the 6-week AI Automation Masterclass. And literally from a complete beginner as a baby boomer, you can go to the beginning and learn week by week, step by step, exactly how to use AI for your business, how to implement it and how to learn it, right? So it'll literally take you from not knowing what AI is to being able to build an AI agent in under 5 minutes. And then you'll learn the basics in week 2, the advanced, the proficient, the expert level, and the finale. Right. And so that's just one module inside the AI Profit Boardroom, but I would recommend starting there. Right. And also the cool thing about this is you can learn from the community and you can share your wins and your goals along the way. Right. So you can see, for example, Justin created his AI avatar twin for the first time ever, right? And he said, if you haven't gone through Julian Goldie's tutorials on this, I highly recommend it, right? Let's have a look what else we got here. We got people sharing like how they built websites with GenSpark. You've got, for example, Andy, who built the first phase of his startup using this process. You got Steve Light, who grew his YouTube channel to over 200,000 views. He says, thanks to Julian Goldie for allowing us, to help with the content and everything, right? So if you want to learn this stuff from scratch, feel free. It's inside the AI Profit Boarding. Breakthrough says open source AI. And if we go back to OpenRouter now, we should have the outputs from both. Let's see, right? Let's see which one codes the best PS5 controller. So if we click on this one, we can go to the preview. Can we use this properly? It's okay. I mean, to be fair, that's not a bad. It's not all clickable. But you can, let me have a look here. Yeah, you can click with the AWSD in that. So that's pretty cool. And then JKL. Use the arrows and then WASD. Yeah, that's a pretty good markup right there, to be fair to Gemini Pro Preview. It's a beast. It's an absolute beast, my friends. All right, and you can see the PS5 controller right here. So let's exit that preview. Then what we're going to do is we are going to go back here and we'll go to Claude Opus Preview. And you can see all these buttons are clickable, right? I mean, the buttons move a little bit, but this is all clickable with the mouse. It's a little bit buggy though. I would still say Gemini Pro Preview wins, right? We've tested two different outputs from Gemini versus Claude 4.5. I'm still going to go with Gemini 3 Pro from what I've seen on the tests, right? And I can only show you what works for me. I can only show you my first-hand experience, right? But from what I've seen, Gemini Pro Preview seems to create better outputs versus Claude Opus 4.5. But you let me know. Like, if you think that Gemini is winning there, just let me know in the chat, and I'd love to hear from you, and you can tell me what you think. Also, just going back to Syed's chat, if I'm going too fast for you, what you want to do is just slow the playback speed on this particular video, and then maybe you want to watch it in halftime or rewatch it later, and that way you can get the tutorial in a slower way, right? You can learn in a slower way, more chilled out way. All right. So what do you think inside the chat? I'd love to know. What do you think? Do you think Gemini is better, or do you think Claude is better? From what I've seen, honestly, I think Gemini is way better. All right. Now, some people want to say AI coding tools only work for developers, not business owners. Every tool that I've built with Opus today was for business, not coding tasks. All right. So you've seen how I've built these different tools, and none of this requires coding knowledge. All of it directly helps your business, and it's all customized for my business and what I actually work on day to day, because Claude understands that and gave me great suggestions. But the main thing to note here is, like, AI coding tools are great for business owners, right? As I'm showing you today inside the chat, like, this is amazing for a business owner, right? Then, some people say, well, previous AI models couldn't really handle like real business complexity. I gave Opus 4.5 tasks that involve multiple steps and business logic. So you can create a tool that checks website rankings, for example, finds which pages drops, analyzes why, and suggests fixes. And it can build that, right? It can process customer feedback, categorize it, find patterns, and create improvement suggestions. The difference between this and older models is that Opus 4.5 understands business context, not just code. Now, I want to show you, like, okay, how would you implement this, right? How would you start using this? And one of the things that I built inside the AI Profit Boardroom to help you is I'm going to show you the exact system that I've used for creating, using Opus 4.5 to build business automation tools, right? So not like coding tutorials, not technical explanations, just a simple framework for turning your business problems into AI solutions that save you time, all right? So here's the 30-day implementation plan, right? Days 1 to 3, I would focus on the foundation task, right? Which is like, you start with one simple task that you do manually every day. That could be, for example, checking your website rankings. It could be like posting on social media. It might be sending follow-up emails to leads. Pick one task that takes like 15 to 30 minutes daily. Then you're gonna open up Opus 4.5 and describe that task in detail. So for example, I need a tool that checks my website rankings for these 20 keywords, blah, blah, blah. Right? Now, you could do this inside AI Studio, you could do it inside Claude, but I just want to show you how you can get the foundation set up if you're a complete beginner. Right? From there, you're going to build your first real automation, days 4 to 7. So I told you this is a 30-day implementation plan, and this is day 4 to 7. So now that you've built one tool successfully in days 1 to 3 on the foundation setup, you understand the patterns. Now pick a bigger task, all right? Something that takes you maybe an hour or more per week. Content repurposing, for example, or customer onboarding or competitor analysis, right? And you could describe the complete process to Opus step by step. So for example, take my YouTube video transcript, identify the main points, create 5 tweets about each point, write 3 LinkedIn posts from different angles, generate an email that promotes the video, right? Be detailed about what you want at each step. Let me show you exactly how this works. So I can just copy that prompt, like you can see from the 30-day plan inside the AI Profit Boardroom. We can go over to Claude Opus 4.5, as you can see. Then we're going to plug in the prompt. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to YouTube, right? And you can just take whatever content you want to use to program this stuff, right? And if we go over, I'm going to take a short video actually, because I don't want to completely confuse it. I'm going to take this one, for example, about Replit. I'm going to click on show transcript. We're going to copy that transcript, as you can see. Then we're going to go back over to Claude. We'll paste in the transcript and we'll use this prompt, hit enter, and then we'll come back to that in a second and check out the outputs, right? Now we're going to share my tab. And Storybox Maker says, is that Claude desktop or web? This is on Claude web, but you can use Claude desktop as well. If you're wondering, okay, peeps, how do you use Claude desktop? So you just download Claude over here. All right, you just go to claude.com/download. Then you can click on, for example, I'm on Mac, so I'm going to download the Mac version. It's going to download over here. We'll open up once it's ready. All right. And then you can get that directly on Claude desktop as well. So if we open that up, that's going to open up now. And then we'll come on to that in a second. All right, I'll show you how to use Claude desktop in a second. So if we go back to Claude and that prompt in the video transcript, you can see we've got the outputs here. So the tweets by topic, we've got so we've got multiple different tweets. So that's like what, 5 days of content right there for Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. And then we've got the LinkedIn posts as well that we can easily repurpose with, and the email promoting the video, right? We did that in one click, right? Now, typically you would need, you go back 2 or 3 years ago, you would need a whole marketing team to be able to do this for you. Now, and that was the old way. That was the old way, right? But now you can just plug that prompt directly into Claude Opus 4.5 and you're ready to go. All right. So I just saw this comment from the CTPT that says, I imagine Julian waking up and seeing the news and having to cancel his entire day to do this live. You know me too well. You know me too. I actually if you want to hear something crazy, so actually, I was at the School Games Mastermind a few days ago with Alex Hormozi and Sam Ovens because we won the School Games last quarter, and that was in Los Angeles. Then last night, I flew back from Los Angeles to Thailand. That was 19 hours. Got back at 2:30 a.m. and now it's 10:30 a.m. and I'm on this live stream presenting the latest Claude update to you. All right, that's the dedication that I have to just helping and empowering you with AI, because I know that this stuff can't wait. Right, my sleep can wait, but this stuff can't wait. And so I just want to help you as much as I can and create the latest updates and share that with you. All right, if you like stuff like this, or if you want to help me out, if you want to support me, join the AI Profit Boardroom. So if we have a look at the day 4 to 7, we've talked about that right now, and then days 8 to 14 as part of the 30-day plan. You've basically built 2 tools right now, right? So now start connecting them. For example, the ranking checker notices a page drops. Well, you could have Opus build a tool that automatically analyzes that page and suggests fixes. Your content tool creates posts, and then you can have Opus build a scheduler that posts them at optimal times. And this is where AI automation gets really powerful, because you've got individual tools to save minutes, but connected systems save hours. So you got to think about your workflow as a series of steps, right? And then just connect them together. Days 15 to 21, you build like business specific tools. So for example, build tools for your specific business model. For example, if you're an SEO, you could build tools that analyze backlink opportunities, right? We're an SEO agency. We can easily do that. If you're in content, you could build tools that generate topic clusters. If you're selling services, you could build tools that qualify leads and schedule calls. These tools are custom built to all your business, right? So they solve your specific problems. They're not generic software, right? And that's the difference. If you're using someone else's software, it's generic. It's not built for you. If you build your own software and your own SaaS tool via Claude, well, that's personalized to you, isn't it? And so that's going to give you better outputs. And only custom tools are built exactly for what you need. So Opus 4.5 makes this possible for our developers. And then, days 22 to 30, you can take all your individual tools and build them into complete systems. Your automation can flow from start to finish without you touching it. The content gets created, posted, promoted, tracked, analyzed, and optimized automatically. And this is your business operating system. All right. Now, I want to show you, I've already talked about how to use it inside the chat. That was really, really simple stuff. And hopefully anyone watching can do that. All you do is you just go to claude.com, you plug in what you need, boom, shakalaka, you're ready to go, right? Now let's talk about how to use it and I've also shown you how to compare these models inside OpenRouter as well. But now what I want to show you is how to use this inside, for example, NA10, right? So you can go to NA10 over here, and I've never really tested this one out, actually. So you can actually go inside the chat and you can build with AI and tell it exactly what you want, right? So you could say, okay, build an SEO content writer using Claude Opus 4.5 AI agent, right? And then I think we'll have to go and get we'll have to go over to console.anthropic to get an API key for this, but we can basically build AI agents as well using Claude Opus 4.5 too. And by the way, if you're enjoying this is helpful, smash a like on it just so that we can help more people and reach more people, right? So I'm just going to log into Claude and Anthropic in the background to get an API key. And in the meantime, we've got NA10 building this out, right? So it's got the chat trigger with the SEO content writer agent, Claude Opus 4.5 as a model. And I'm literally just doing stuff in the background whilst this AI agent does its magic. All right, so that's building out over here, which is amazing, but I'm doing something else. This is not even me building out the workflow. So you can see like the power of like connecting, for example, NA10 and its text-based AI agent builder with something like the power of Claude. So let's grab an API key in the background. If you're not sure how to do this, you can just go to Anthropic, log in, go to /settings/keys, plug in your keys. I'm going to put NA10 over here. Then we're going to click add. Then we've got the API key that I'll have to delete in a second because obviously I've just exposed it on live stream, which is not very smart. Wouldn't recommend that. But I want to just show you how easy this stuff is. So we've got NA10, I have to delete that one in a second. Okay. And then if we go back to share this tab instead, it says your Claude SEO content writer agent is ready. The AI agent is configured to blah, blah, blah. You can test the chat by clicking test chat button in the chat trigger node. And then we can start going inside here. Let's see if this actually works. If this works, my mind is going to be blown. But we'll see if this works because that was way easier than me setting up myself. All right, so we're going to put keyword equals SEO training Japan, just as a little cheeky example. I'm not sure if that's going to be using an old API key from me, but if I've still got the new API key in there, I'm going to be happy because it'll save me time. And boom. All right, so we've got the outputs right there. Okay. Now, has that got memory? I don't think it's got memory, so I'm just going to add a simple memory over here so that it remembers the last 5 interactions. Okay. And I'm just going to say, just get on with it, mate. I mean, you could give it all that custom information, but I just want to get on with this and show you on a live stream how easy this is. And we're going to say, okay, topic equals SEO. I'm going to go inside the chat here and just say, make it easy. So I plug in my keyword and then it generates the content ASAP. Something like that, right? We'll head into light. So once this is ready, by the way, once I finish doing this, then I'll download the template and you can just seal it for me inside the AirPod for boarding. So it's searching through the nodes and having a little cheeky think about it. think it's fixing that now. So it's removing some connections to nodes. I'm actually going to go back to, if you want to delete an API key, let me show you how to do that inside Anthropic. So you just click on disable or delete, and then you can disable or delete it, right? So you can see that's disabled now. All right, let's go back to NA10. We'll start building this out. The other thing that some people say is like custom AI tools only work for tech companies, not normal businesses. But solo business owners need automation more than anyone. You're doing everything yourself, right? SEO, content, social media, customer service, product delivery. Every task you could automate gives you hours back. And I've built tools that handle my SEO reporting, my content repurposing, my customer onboarding, my social media posting schedule. And these are normal business tasks. And now Opus 4.5 can basically handle them all. So, this is something that you want to really think about. How can you implement inside your business? So it said, what's changed? We're going to click on test workflow. Let's go inside here, execute workflow. Error in this, oh, heavens to Betsy. Delete that. Stop that. Execute the workflow. And then I think if we have a look at workflow configuration, I think we just have to put in our keyword here. So let's put SEO training. All right. I'm going to hit save on that. I like the fact that the AI NA10 code builder as well has already named it for me, so that makes it easier. Let's try and execute this now, see what we get. Now it should pull in the keyword, the content type, the target audience, and the word count as well, manually from what we've typed in. But let's see what we get back in a second. It's taking a little bit of time. Also, some people are going to say like AI tools are unreliable and will break my business systems, but Opus 4.5 scored higher on software engineering tests than any human candidate ever scored. That's not marketing, right? That's actual test results. So, this model builds reliable tools because it thinks through edge cases and potential problems before you even ask. So it's more reliable than most human developers, and it doesn't get tired, doesn't miss details, and tests everything automatically. Boom, look at that. We've got the tool ready to go over here. All right, so it's giving us the title, the output, the meta description, the introduction, everything else. We're ready to go on that. And then you can just use that. You could plug this over to WordPress if you wanted to. The main thing is here that we've automated creating the tool with NA10, and we've easily set this up using NA10 too. Now what I'm going to do is, if you want to get that SEO content writer, I'm going to plug that inside the notes from today, and I will attach the resource file so that you can import that NA10 workflow directly into NA10 for you, right? So this is the SEO content writer with Claude Opus 4.5. There we go. So now you've got a content writer based on Claude Opus 4.5, and we just people to automatically using NA10's automated agent builder, right? Pretty amazing. If you want me to build something right now for you, let me know. Right? Julian says, it's always good to meet another Julian, so good to see you. Says, do you think it's worth making a very good sales bot with a ton of clean, high-level sales data? That's what I've been working on. It's not doing great, lol. Is it possible that I have too much data? All right, let me show you how I did this, right? So if you type in, if you go to the AI profit board in here, you type in sales, we've got loads of different agents for this, right? So for example, if you check out the AI agents and workflow section, we've actually got an NA10 sales agent, right? And basically what this does is it takes any new sales calls, then drafts an email inside my sales reps emails that's personalized to their application, so that before the call, they get a reminder saying, hey, it's John here, looking forward to our call, blah, blah, blah. I saw that you need help with this, this, and this. And that's a really good sales agent that you can build with NA10. Now, if you want to get that, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. You can just grab the workflow from here and import it into NA10. And then also, we've actually got our funnels here. So if you want to generate more sales, generate more leads, you can just click on any of these funnel links and then start using them right away, literally. So if you want to steal our book a call funnel, you can just grab that right here. So that's one option. Here's another sales agent that we've built previously. So we've got, for example, the funny sales copywriter. We've got the sales call proposal automator right here. We have, for example, the follow-ups and sales tracking process. We've actually got loads of training inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. So if you want to get more, if you want to get help on like sales scripts, we've also got that inside our agency course, as you can see. All right, so I would go inside the AI Profit Boardroom and just explore there. All right. Julian says system prompt is good. I got Reddit memory chat GPT 4 LLM. Yeah, I mean, you might want to consider using a different LLM at this point, because Chat GPT 4 is quite old. But yeah, I've shown you a few options there that you could use to help you. So we actually downloaded Claude Code before as well. So I'm just going to have a look, see if we can open that up. All right, so if you've, let me just present my screen. Claude Code is just opening up right now, I think. Julian says, okay, thanks, man. Glad that helped. So we've got Claude opening up here. As you can see, I'm just going to log in with Google. Actually, I think that's because I need my passkey to log in with Google there. But that's basically, you can use Claude Code on desktop as well. I usually don't use it. The cool thing about Claude Desktop, if you've never seen it before, is that you can install MCPs to it too. But yeah, that's one of the options. And then if you go back to NA10 over here, we've got some more options. Cut the check says insane, capital letters. That's what we're talking about. All right. So what else could we build with this? I'm intrigued now to see what else we can start creating here. So if we go back to NA10 over here, we can create a new workflow. And what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to go to Claude and we're going to say, right, okay, create and give me some ideas for me personally on what else I can do with NA10 plus Claude Opus 4.5, e.g. some prompts / use cases for useful stuff I can build. All right, I like this one. So I'm going to say, okay, build this. We'll grab that. We'll go back to NA10 over here. We're going to say build with AI. Now, you do get limited credits, but you get like 150 monthly credits on the plan that I have inside NA10 for buildings with the text. So it is pretty useful. I don't think I'm going to build more than 30 templates per month. And I think you can probably get more credits as well if you really want to. Yes, you can get more there. But I'm going to click on enter now and see if we can start building this out as well. And again, like if you want me to build an NA10 automation for you right now, just let me know on the live stream and I'll start creating that for you. So it's starting to create that right now. Some people as well have this belief that like competitors will have the same tools, so there's no advantage. But most people won't use this even though it's available. They'll wait, they'll doubt, they'll stick with manual work, and the people who move fast on new tools like this always win because they get months or even years of advantage before everyone catches up. So I've seen this happen with pretty much every single major AI release. Early adopters build systems, late adopters play catch up. And you're seeing this right now before most people know it even exists, right? This just came out a few hours ago. So if you're watching this, you're ahead of 99% of people. The AI reached the maximum number of steps. Okay. So I'm going to say simplify this so it's easier. Plus simplify it. So I just paste in the transcript. Then you generate the repurposed content. See if we can do better on that. Sometimes I do notice, from the few times I've used this, that it overcomplicates things. We don't want to overcomplicate it. We want to keep it simple so that we can actually use it for our business, right? Another sort of external belief that some people have is this technology will be outdated soon. So why learn it now? But every new AI tool builds on the previous one. So learning Opus 4.5 now means you understand how to work with AI to build business solutions. So when the next version comes out, you already know how to use it to build, because the core skill is describing business problems clearly. And that skill never expires. It's an alpha skill, right? Plus, the people who start using powerful tools early build systems that compound. So if you wait now, it means you lose months of potential automation and business growth. So you want to make sure that you're moving fast on this sort of stuff as well. And the final belief that I've seen a lot of people struggle with, and I'm just going through these now whilst this is building out, is like, some people think that building AI tools is risky because you might break something that's imported. But the main thing to note here is like you test everything in a safe environment first. So Opus 4.5 builds tools that you can test completely before they touch your real business systems. You see how they work, you make sure they do what you want, and then you connect them to your actual business. So there's no risk of breaking things because you control every step in a test environment first, and then you deploy it once you're ready. And it's pretty much like, let's be honest, it's probably safer than hiring a developer who might deploy untested code or code with mistakes to your live systems. And I've seen that happen plenty of times, right? So I think that's ready to go. All we need to do is just plug in the transcript over here. We can easily do that. So I'm going to test this out now. We're going to go to, I don't know, let's take a transcript again. We can take the GenSpout one over here. We'll copy that bad boy. Then we're going to take the transcript, plug it in, copy that in, go back to NA10. All right, so just to be clear here, I've taken the transcript from this video, and then we're going to go back to NA10 over here.
The craziest AI tool I've seen in months, and nobody's talking
that.
about it yet.
I don't know if that's going to be too much context. It's actually not, I don't think. So let's see if we can execute that now based on the workflow. So again, we're using Claude Opus 4.5 to help us. It's going to generate the AI content over here for repurposing. We've built this using the NA10 text to workflow builder on the right-hand side.
Here's
and
where
then we'll see what outputs we get back in a second as well.
Microsoft Agent into their platform. A Microsoft Agent is not your regular.
So you can see it working its magic over here. Right? So we put in the transcript here, just pasted it in, and then it's generating the content over here. It's also named each part, so it's like paste the transcript here, right? Input the transcript, generate all the content on this section, and then it's labeled the model over here. So it's all like quite easy to understand as well. Sporter says, I'd like an agent that can take a prompt or a video and create a post to all my social media platforms in the best medium for that platform. We'll come on to that in a second. Let's see if this works. Taking a little while, but I think that's because the API will be getting rinsed by everyone testing out at the minute. Now, I just want to talk through some common mistakes to avoid as well. So, like, don't try and build complicated systems on day one. And let's have a look at what we got. Problem, model, output doesn't fit required format. So I'm going to say, okay, I got this error. So if you get any problems, just plug them into the chat on the right-hand side, and then you can start trying to fix it. And then it's updating the content format section. I'm running through that right there. So you've got Claude for auto fix down at there as well. See if that works. I'm tempted to put a smaller transcript in here just so I can test it quicker. Otherwise, with the massive transcript that you've got inside this module, it's going to take ages to get the outputs over here. Alex says, overall, which do you think is better, Gemini 3 Pro or Claude 4.5 Opus? I would say they're both worth testing, but honestly, from what I've seen from my own tests today, Gemini 3 is still better, right? I just think it's simpler. It creates fast outputs. It's obviously cheaper. It's got a higher context window as well. And I've not had, I mean, like you've seen a few issues today when I've been building with Opus 4.5. I've not had those same issues with Gemini. So, you know, hopefully that helps you understand why I pick Gemini over Opus right now. So yeah, I mean, coming back to common mistakes to avoid. So, you know, don't try and build complicated systems on day one. Just start simple, build your confidence, and then go bigger. I wouldn't skip the testing phase as well. So always test with fake data first, like I'm doing today. Make sure the tool actually works perfectly before connecting it to your real business systems. Don't be vague in your descriptions as well, right? So the clearer you are about what you want, the better the tool will work. Say exactly what should happen and when, and don't build tools you actually won't use, right? So if you're building tools you won't use, you're wasting your time. All right, build automation for tasks you do frequently. If you only do something once a month, keep doing it manually, right? There's no point switching. This is still broken. Why is that failed here? Interesting. What's the error? Content formatter says this. Can you help fix it? Or can you just do this in the chat so it's simpler and easier? Try and get a better output from that. Now, how do you measure your results, right? I would start, you know, tracking these numbers starting today. So how many hours per week do you spend on repetitive tasks right now? And after 30 days, just count it again, right? And that way you can basically measure, okay, are you improving or are you saving time, right? Sporter says, can you review what you just did? Yeah, so basically what happened there, and it seems to have just started again, to be honest, is like it kept breaking on the format. So when I was asking the tool to give us the outputs from the transcript and repurpose it, it was breaking on the content formatter output, right? So on the module that said content formatter, that's where it's breaking down. So just to keep things simple, I've said just in the chat, give me the outputs here instead of content formatting it. And that way I can just copy and paste the outputs from the chat, right? It will just be simpler. The more you can simplify this stuff, the more likely it is to work. So let's see what we got here. So paste your live stream transcript into the chat, and then Claude Opus will generate the outputs. Let's see if we can actually do this. So if we go again, and again, this is why you got to test this stuff in a safe environment first before you start, you know, implementing it properly into your business. So I'm going to go back to NA10 here. We'll paste in that transcript. Let's see if that works. See how it's looping round? It's like, I'm ready to help you repurpose your live stream content. And I'm going to go back in here and say, even when I paste in transcript, it doesn't work. I just want to give it the transcript, and then it works. Plus, it should remember the chat too. Let's see if we can fix that. Alex says, same, agreed. I think Gemini is still better. Yeah, I would agree with you. I'm glad we're on the same page there, Alex. See how it's not connected to the chat memory? I'm going to reconnect this and set this up manually. So inside the AI agent, I'm going to put add more, system message, paste that in. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to add a memory. Simple memory, 5 context window. And let's see if that works instead. Kind of want to delete all that because it's just totally wasting my time. And then we're going to put on here, stop that. Add a chat trigger. We're going to link the chat trigger here. We'll go inside the chat. Let's paste this in again. And just being fully transparent with you, the NA10 chat builder here was pretty bad. Like it just totally broke. So something to be aware of there is like the NA10 chat builder, not that great all the time. So let's see what we get back from here. It's using this and the chat input to generate this. Boom, we've got it back. All right, I'm going to close the chat builder because that was a total waste of time. And then we've got the repurposing analysis over here. All right, so if we scroll down, we've got the top 5 quotable moments. So this is the craziest AI tool I've seen in months and nobody's talking about it yet. That's a great quote. And we've got the short form video scripts based on the original post and also the Twitter thread as well. Right. So we've got a full repurposing content agent using this process. You could plug that into HeyGen or whatever AI avatar tool you have as well to generate the outputs. It's got the blog post headline as well. And all we did was just paste in the transcript into the chat. Pretty amazing stuff, right? So let me just open that up. You can see that right here, right? So to recap, this content repurposer gives you the top 5 quotable moments with timestamps, 3 short form video scripts, a Twitter thread with 8 to 10 tweets, a LinkedIn post, and a blog outline. And all you do is you paste in the transcript right here. So if you want to get access to that, again, I will plug that inside the notes from today, and then you can just steal that NA10 agent from me if you want. All right. Let's add a resource file over here, plug in the JSON. Boom, we're good to go. So that's the content repurposer. Wait, save on that. And that's basically it. All right, peeps. So I've shown you basically how to use Claude Opus 4.5. Again, it only came out a few hours ago, but I've shown you exactly how to use it, how to get access, etc. Now, if you want all of the video notes from today, all you do is you go to the AI Profit Boardroom, sign up to the AI Profit Boardroom, go to the classroom, go to S&P Updates November 2025, and you'll get all the customized, personalized training with a video tutorial, all the tools that I built, the 30-day plan, the NA10 workflows that I built as well, along with all of these new updates. You can see we just update this with all the latest stuff right here. And also inside the classroom, you can get the 6-week AI Automation Masterclass, the playbook with all of my best playbooks for example, generating X content, newsletter content, automate your emails, shorts, avatar videos, etc. It's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom community. You can also, for example, get my best workflows on lead generation and social media, email and content automation, right? Inside the classroom too, you'll get access to my best NA10 templates and workflows. So it's just absolutely amazing what you get. You also get to connect with 1,700 serious AI builders who are interested in growing their business with AI just like you. It's a very active community where we're always posting and sharing new stuff and new wins. I mean, if we have a look at the win section here, you can see that we have all of these different wins, right? So these are all the wins that people are sharing, and we're all just learning and growing together. These are over like just the last 7 days, like all these amazing wins. And then also you get 4 coaching calls a week on AI automation. So if you want to learn AI automation, there's 4 coaching calls per week where you can learn, jump on the call, ask any questions you have, and solve your roadblocks in real time. So, I mean, there's huge value in there. Again, as well, if you go to our testimonials document, we have 98 pages of testimonials from happy clients inside the AI Profit Boardroom too. So you can see all of these different automations and stuff like that as well. And Damo Vicious says, I love how you don't get frustrated. I think I've just got used to it, right? So when I'm building the stuff and it breaks, you know, in the first days, it was super stressful and super annoying. But now it is, it's just like, okay, I know this is going to happen. My pain tolerance is super high. And so like, it's not going to bother me if something breaks, right? Sporter says, Julian Goat, love you. Thanks very much. And says, and you create a JSON and another LLM, import to LLM. Yeah, so I've shown you how to get the NA10 template from the AI Profit Boardroom. And yeah, appreciate you. Thanks very much, Sporters. Appreciate you always joining the live streams too. Damavisha says error tolerance. That's what we're talking about. So you can see some testimonials from happy members inside the AI Profit Boardroom. You can see all these different amazing testimonials, video testimonials, etc. We've got 98 pages of this. This is like an infinite scroll. I've never seen any other community get this many testimonials from happy people who are just getting results inside their Profit Boardroom. So if you've not already checked this out, make sure you do, because there's just so much good stuff in there. And you can see like Tamara, I'm from Germany, so grateful. I've already been doing a lot in the content and the KI space, but now I'm taking part in the 6-week masterclass inside the AI Profit Boardroom, and I am absolutely blown away, right? So you can see all these different testimonials from people who love the AI Profit Boardroom, and if you want to sign up, you can. All right. The other thing I would say is, you've seen what Opus 4.5 can do for your business. You've seen the tools that I've created for you and what it can build and how it can save you hours every day. Now, let me show you what you get inside the AI Profit Boardroom, because everything I've shown you is just one little small piece of what we do inside. So I'm going to walk you through the complete offer. First of all, you get the school business building training, right? This is basically how I turned my school community into a system that brings in customers automatically. So you learn how to turn followers into community members. You also get the Twitter AI system. So this is my complete blueprint for using AI to build presence on X that brings you leads every single day. So, for example, if you want to automate daily posts, daily engagement, daily opportunities, you can get that. You also get the school empire system. So this is how to build a community that builds and scales repeatedly. You also get the digital nomad blueprint. So this is my complete business philosophy and the framework I've used to build businesses whilst traveling the world. You get a full year inside the SEO Elite Circle as long as you're active inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This is my flagship AI SEO training that's helped hundreds of people grow their website traffic. You get access to the SEO Boardroom Discord. So this is where we share real-time algorithm updates and SEO intelligence, right? This is all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So you can see why so many people are leaving amazing reviews, because we're just getting great results for everyone, right? And if you want to join, I hope you connect with me personally inside there too. Top of that, you get the AI automation engine with weekly groups for accountability and systems for building tools and automation using AI, right? So if we go back to the AI Profit Boardroom, you see all the different classes and courses you get here. You get a complete pre-built client funnel with pitch decks, landing pages, and offer systems done for you, ready to use right now. So if you scroll down to the agency course, you'll find all of that right there. Top of that, you'll get this AI service client formula showing you how to sell premium AI packages. You'll get the 100M content machine that turns one idea into over 100 posts across every platform. You get the quick win blueprint based on real member results inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. So we share all the quick wins and how to get quick wins and all that sort of thing. And, add all of that up, the amount of training systems and community you get inside there, you're not going to find anything close to that anywhere else, right? So with our Black Friday offer as well, so we have a Black Friday deal on right now. You can sign up right here inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. You're getting 35% off life for monthly access, right? Plus every single bonus that drops every time we update the community. So that means you lock in a lower rate and you get all the upcoming training and tools we release. And if you don't like it, no problem. Like, you can try it for 7 days and just try it for 7 days. We'll high five you on the way out if you don't like it. All right. So the link to join is right now below this video. And, the people who move fast on new tools like Opus 4.5 are the ones who are going to build businesses that grow and scale. Okay. And they're the ones who get ahead whilst everyone else is doing everything manually. Now, you've seen what's possible today. Now it's time to build it for your business too. So I hope to see you inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Damavisha says, is that why you won the school awards? Because of my error tolerance? Maybe. I think we just built an amazing community. The reason that it's grown so much is because people love it. What other community have you seen with 98 pages of testimonials, right? It's pretty insane. And Sporter says, did he win an award from school? I did indeed. Let me pull this up. There we go. Let me pull this up for you here. Yeah, so just a few days ago, met Alex Hormozy, met Sam Ovens, masterminded with them at the school games, and got this beautiful school award, right? Look at that beast. Like, that is seriously heavy as well. It's probably the nicest award. I've got quite a few awards on my desk and everything like that, but this is by far like the nicest, probably the one that I'm proudest of, because the only reason I got it is because I put so much effort into building that community, and because of the amazing community members that are inside there. Right. So hope to see you inside the AI Profit Boardroom. You've seen how much value there is in there. You've seen how to use Claude Opus today, how powerful it is, how good it is. And if you want to join me, hope to connect with you personally inside there. All right. Cheers for watching. See you on the next one. Sporter says, fantastic, man. How was Hormozy? it was surreal, you know, like just being 100% honest, like I've learned so much from Hormozy. I've studied his videos as well. And, you know, he's a beast. Like when he was on stage, like speaking during the games and during the mastermind, like super charismatic, very, very smart, gave amazing advice, but super humble too. Like, you know, for what he's achieved and all the things that he's done in business, it was interesting to see someone like that. The other thing I would say is like he had an aura, right? So like as soon as he walked in the room, you kind of knew it. He's a huge guy as well, so I think that probably helps. Like he's got a lot of presence, but yeah, a lot of respect for him and what he's done. All right. So if you haven't already, I know, for example, Rigwell asked thanks how to join. So if you're watching on X, which I think you are, Rigwell, then you can just click on the link inside my profile here, and you can join the AI Profit Boardroom there. We've got a link pinned on the comment as well, so on the profile here. And then also, yeah, if you're watching this video right now, click on that, and then you'll see the link below on how to join here, right? So you just click on that, and then you can join the AI Profit Boardroom here. If anyone else is watching and you don't have the link inside the comments and description, you can go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com to sign up, and yeah, you can sign up to the AI Profit Boardroom here. Sporter says, so good for you, Julian. I mean, thanks to you, you know, people like you, Sporters, who have supported me. I've seen, you know, how many times you're on the live streams and how interactive you are inside the comments and that sort of thing. I wouldn't have achieved anywhere near what I've done without people like you. So thanks very much to yourself, good sir. And thanks for the awesome questions today as well. Thanks to everyone who joined. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, peeps. Bye-bye.